Players had a very successful season, tied for second in the Pac-12, 22 wins. Unfortunately, this game did not go as planned in the second half. We met a lot of timely shot making by Michigan State and some timely misses on our part, I thought was a difference in the game in the second half. We also had 8 turnovers, only 3 at halftime. So a few of those turnovers were self-inflicted, meaning we just turned the ball over ourselves, about 3 or 4 of them. But our guys competed and played very hard the whole game. Michigan State made some timely shots. Give them credit. They're a very good team.
We'll now open it up for questions for student athletes. Please make sure you talk into the microphone when you're asking your question. Right here on the left first.
Ryan Carcielli, Times. Boogie, you'd been on such a tear over these last 2 months or so. What was the issue maybe today, and what was the issue on offense just in general at the start?
I mean, they did a great job. I let my teammates down today. I didn't make shots, and they made things tough for me.
What was it that they did that made things tough for you?
Just team defense, jumping to the ball, being on all the gaps. That's pretty much.
Just go ahead and pass it to your right.
Adam Grossbard, Orange County Register. Boogie, Drew, when they missed those 3 front ends of the one-on-ones, like, how tough was it trying to balance, like, looking for a good shot versus trying to get something up quickly and try to score quickly given the time situation?
Obviously, they miss those, and, when you're trailing and you're trying to figure it out, and, Gage trying to, get threes versus, easier twos, and it's just something we're part of the game, and you happen to be trailing late, and we tried to find the best shot possible. And like we said, I think we missed some timely shots. They hit their timely shots. Hauser hit a few big threes, and I think it's just sometimes the way the ball rolls in March. I think I trust Boogie to take all those shots, and sometimes it's the way the ball rolls. There's no blame to go around, and I think that we kind of held them only 5 threes, but they were timely. It's just how the ball rolls sometimes in March.
Right here, good.
Ryan Carcielli, Times. Andy, you guys had spent so much time on defending the 3 this week. What were they able to do on the interior, maybe that, I don't know if you guys weren't expecting or that they just did effectively?
Well, they have good players, and so twice early in the second half, Joshua's usually outstanding in ball screen coverage, and they split our big, and guard was able to get to the rim and lay it in. They were out in transition a few times, got some layups, but the fast breaks points didn't decide the game. It was points in the paint were significant. I thought we missed about 4 or 5 at the rim. I think Kobe missed that layup early in the second half, that layup uncontested. And then it was a big call. Boogie got that offensive foul at the rim. And so they did get some paint scoring opportunities, which is a little unusual for our defense because we're so good against the 2. But as Drew said, sometimes things don't go always as planned in March, and give them credit. They were able to get the rim and finished.
Michael in the back.
Michael Cohen from Fox Sports. Boogie, this question's for you back here on your right. You mentioned the team defense that Michigan State played and how they were able to make things difficult for you. I'm curious about the on-ball defense from Akins and Walker. Was there anything that they did that you weren't expecting, or were they more physical than you thought, or was it just a difficult day?
I played too fast today. I didn't change my pace all year. I played with a great pace, but today I played a little bit too fast, so that's on me.
Over here.
Shotguns Brownlow, 24/7 Sports. Boogie, when the game is being allowed to be physical, what kind of adjustments do you have to make to be able to continue to score at the rate you used to scoring?
Just continue to embrace contact, move without the ball, stuff like that.
Right down here.
Adam Grossbard, Orange County Register. Josh, you had that stretch where you made 4 shots in a row. Like, what, were you able to do in those sequences with the, the pick and pop game with the guys? Like, what were you able to do?
I really got to give a lot of credit in regard to both Boogie and Drew. They takes a lot of pressure off of them. There's such great guards that you got to put a lot of focus on them. So I was able to kind of get into the paint a lot, and we had like 5 assists, Drew like 2, I think. They just found me. That's really what it is. They're set through ball screens, and then just pull your guys behind me. That's what happened.
We have time for one more for players.
Boogie, Drew, Michigan State had not been a team that stole the ball much. Played back defense, today they had 7, and some of them were very critical. Were they jumping the passing lanes? Did they do something you didn't expect?
I don't think necessarily unexpected. I think, obviously we know their brand of basketball and, they're physical. And I think it's, you kind of get to a point where you're down late and, you're trying to make plays. And I think sometimes you just happen to, make the wrong read or, try and force pass it in there, like me in one of the fast breaks, or you just happen to lose the ball. And I think, we just, the ball didn't roll our way in that aspect. And I think that, they played well, and I give them credit. They played a very solid defense. And so I think, I give them credit for, just, like I said, timely shots and, the solid defense they played all day.
Student athletes, you guys are good to go. Appreciate your time. Questions for Coach, please talk into the mic when asking the question.
Connor Morissette, Sports Illustrated Media Group. Coach, I know Vince has been banged up for a while, but how much did you miss him scoring big, who maybe could have helped you a little bit tonight? I know Josh had a great game, but could you obviously have used Vince, did you think, tonight?
Well, they played 2 bigs. We played Vince. We would have played big at times today with him, and also his 7'1" athleticism, 7'1" with a 7'4" wingspan certainly helps our rim protection and our length. So without him this year, half the year it's been challenging. He missed the first half of the season, came back, started to play really well, got caught up in some of our defensive and offensive schemes, and then he was out again here at the end of the year. And injuries have affected our season. That's why I'm so proud of this team to go tie for second, go 22-9 the regular season, because we only had our full roster for like 10 games, and we went 8-2 in those games. Both lost to Arizona, and in fact, the second game Drew was hurt, but he still played. So Vince being out certainly affects our team, our rotation, but that's not an excuse why we lost. But you asked the question about Vince. He's a big part of our program, and we hope the best for him to get healthy.
Down here on the left.
Andy's scoring droughts, Adam Grossbard, Orange County Register. Andy's scoring droughts were a common theme throughout a lot of the losses this year.
What? I'm sorry?
Scoring droughts were a common theme throughout a lot of the losses this year. Do you feel like that's something you and your staff need to kind of examine philosophically on offense entering this offseason?
Well, I think it comes down to 2 things. At halftime, we had 10 assists and 3 turnovers and shot at 50% from the field. We played really well offensively in the first half. Boogie had 4 assists, no turnovers. Kobe had 4 assists. I thought in the second half there was a couple possessions we went one-on-one too much instead of just playing basketball the way we're capable of. And then we missed some wide-open, timely shots. And to win a game like this, they hit a couple big threes and perimeter, and then we missed some. And so we also had 8 turnovers in the second half. Now, like Drew said, he saved the ball out of bounds that was off of them, and they stole it. Kobe dribbled the ball off his foot late. Boogie, in the last, it was a 9-point game, and we had 6 possessions where we didn't score. And Boogie lost the ball. Kobe lost it out of bounds, and then we missed 2 wide-open threes. And so it's hard to shoot, not make timely shots, and turn the ball over. And some of those turnovers, as I said, were just self-inflicted. It was our guys losing the ball. So the scoring droughts are usually either you miss open shots or guys try to do too much on their own, one-on-one, instead of just moving the ball and spacing and cutting. I know that there's a lot of pressure on these guys in the second half when we got down. So, I'm not it is frustrating at times throughout the season, but for the most part, our guys played the right way. And like Boogie had a tremendous assist-to-turnover ratio. Halfway through the season to the end of the season, he was playing great basketball from a scoring perspective, but also decision-making. And that's why his assist-to-turnover ratio was probably 2.5, 3 to 1 the last 10 or 12 games. And unfortunately today, caught up to us in the second half where it just wasn't the case.
And last question for Coach here on the right.
Graham Couch, Lansing State Journal. Forgive me if you've already addressed this, but early in the second half, A.J. Hogarth picks up a third foul for them, and they're able to move Tyson Walker to the point and make that run there. I'm just wondering the luxury you think that is for them to have a guy like that in that situation that you're not in trouble necessarily with your point guard being out for a key stretch.
Well, they have interchangeable parts like our team does. That's why it was a good matchup. But I think all their guards played pretty well today. Played solid basketball, and off the ball screens, I thought both those guys did a good job.